Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Sam's Corner. Today, I have my lifelong brother, best friend, cousin, whatever you want to call it, since day one here with me. Brady White's here from USC Sumter, and he's my fellow roommate as well, in case y'all didn't know. So let's get into the action today. Today, we're going to be covering WWE Wrestling, Country Boys, and Yucatan, and those are two favorites around here. Top 5 snacks that are needed in a household or a pantry, NCAA tournament, SEC baseball, and Brady's time here at USC Sumter. So let's get going. First topic here for tonight's show is WWE, and me and Brady know how crazy WWE was to us as a childhood. I mean, we used to dress up in like our John Cena shirts or our favorite superstar shirts and act like we're in a Royal Rumble every night. I mean, Brady can relate in on this. What do you think about it, Brady?
Oh yeah, man. 403 Garrison Court. When you, Grayson, we all lived together. Man, we had a great time in there. You used to 619 me. I mean, through walls. You edge speared me through one time, busted my head open through the wall. 619 Grayson a little bit. Swanton bomb off the couch. Broke my elbow when we were young. Because Sam did a little counter, rolled out of the way, and elbow went straight through, and it broke. But yep, we got beat up. We used to beat up Grayson a good bit with WWE. I used to beat you up a little bit. I don't think I ever lost, but that's that.
Hey, I don't know about all that, but let's jump to the good stuff here. Brady, tell me who your 5 favorite WWE wrestlers are of all time.
Oh, I mean, of all time, that's a good question. One got to be Jeff Hardy. I mean, if I see anything on social media, I'm still, it's on Twitter, retweeting, Instagram, I'm posting my story. Jeff Hardy, he's the go-to guy. Number 2, I'm definitely going to go with Rey Mysterio. That mask, man, it's just something about that mask. And that 619 booyaka call he makes, man, it just gets me going. And then Undertaker, he's a good one. It's just because I think it's mainly because of his entrance and how he carries himself. That when he just comes out of the dark like that, it's really exciting. Yeah, it's intimidating. 4th, I'd probably go with Randy Orton. I really like the little slithery snake mentality he has with the RKO. He just pops up out of nowhere and just, I mean, you never know with him, And then 5, I'd probably have a 2-way tie for 5th because I really like the Big Show and I really like Triple H. But both of them we've seen when we grew up, especially in Florence when we went to that tournament, little WWE match. When we were kids. We just got to see John Cena in the hotel. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, my 5, they were pretty hard to put in order, but 1, I got Undertaker because number 1, he's probably one of the greatest to ever do this. Number 2, I got Roman Reigns. I always love Roman Reigns and the fiery dog attitude he has with the shield and all of that. Number 3, we got Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy is probably one of the most extreme WWE wrestlers of our time. I mean, he used to jump off ladders on tables.
You give him a 12-foot ladder and he's home.
And the fearless mentality he had, like, to us as kids. I mean, we thought he was a world beater. And then 4, I got Edge. I mean, he's Edge with the spear. I mean, his vicious attitude, all that. And then 5, I mean, this is pretty much just a fan favorite here. This is John Cena. I mean, that's pretty obvious. He's got to be in the top 5 for what he's done for the WWE. I mean, you can't see me.
Shuffle.
But Brady, what's your favorite tag team tandem of all time?
Ooh. There's been some good ones out there, the older generation would probably want me to say, the Dudley Boys or somebody along that lines, but I'm gonna stick with the roots. I'm definitely going with D-Generation X with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Them they were electric, man. I'd be in the shower, I mean, swallowing water, just spitting in the air, thinking I'm Triple H in the background, flexing, just. I used to do it all, man. Interacted, I really thought I was Triple H.
Mine from my childhood, this was like a short span, but it had to be John Cena and Kofi Kingston whenever they
Oh
were
yeah,
a tag team
Kofi Kingston
buddies.
brought that energy.
And Kofi just brought that energy to me as a kid. He was always one of my favorites to watch just because of how physical he was and how fast he was. But those are the good
I
old
like
days.
and his vibes he gave off when he walked down the aisle to the ring. I like that. I like how he used to wrestle. He was good guy.
All right. So what are your two favorite moments that you can remember from the WWE?
Two. That's hard. That's a good question. Well, I think one's got to be what we talked about earlier. We were staying in a hotel in Florence, and WWE traveled down here to have a little wrestling match. And we got to see the Big Show, all those guys.
Mark
It was
Henry.
good, and all of them, man. I think the best was when we were on the elevator and got off, and John Cena's, like not even 5 feet in front of me, just sitting there, and I'm just like, don't even know what to say. I'm a little kid, like shocked and mesmerized that this man's in front of me, and
we were scared as kids. We started running.
Yeah,
we thought we were part of the action here.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, here goes. I'm about to get 5 knuckle shuffled if I don't look out. Let's see. The second one, I thought it was cool when Undertaker made his after he lost his first ever match in WWE to Brock Lesnar, or not in WWE, in WrestleMania, which is an event in WWE. He lost his first one to Brock Lesnar. I liked his return, his entrance. He came back. Everybody was shocked. Nobody was expecting getting here because comes Undertaker, and he showed up in the middle of the ring out of the dark and just whooped up on Brock Lesnar. Gave him what he deserved after beating his perfect record at WrestleMania. So I like that.
Yeah, my two. One of my favorite moments would definitely have to be whenever, I can't remember who won the match, but it was an Extreme Rules like steel cage match. And,
Oh yeah, those are the best.
I think it was Shane McMahon and somebody else as a kid. But it was in our later age of like whenever we were like 13, 14. Like I was still like just kind of keeping up with it sometimes. And I flipped it on TV and I just see Shane McMahon coming from the top of the cage and jumping on the announcer's table. And that was one of my memories of WWE that I remember the most because of how like shocking it was. I didn't think Shane McMahon was still in WWE, but apparently he made a return there. But my other match that I'll always remember was whenever John Cena was the last entrance to the Royal Rumble. And it was in Madison Square Garden. And I think we were watching it. I think we were watching it at the Galloway's house or something back as kids.
Yeah, and, for sure.
And all I can remember is John Cena coming in with about 3 or 4 people left, and he eliminated everybody to get the Royal Rumble. And that was back whenever, I was a huge John Cena fan. Like I lived, breathed, and died John Cena. Like you can't see me, but yeah, there's a lot of memories like just from remembering WWE, but those were definitely my favorite too. But
yeah, she would be in your mom's room on her bed, thinking the bed was the ring, playing Royal Rumble, racing off. Then it'd be me and you, and we just go at it. Thought her room was a steel cage. He used to get in trouble.
What do you, in your opinion, what was the best pay-per-view that we bribed both Angie and my mom to get for us?
As much as I hate to say it, WrestleMania 30. That was a go. I mean, we bribed them to get a lot. We used to get the Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania, and they'd always look out for us because they know that's what we like to do. But I think WrestleMania 30, when Undertaker sadly got his first loss, but I think that was one of the coolest ones just because of like all the action and it was great fights throughout the night. It was sick.
My favorite always was the Money in the Bank one.
Oh yeah, you can just cash in.
Where they had the ladder match, and I think the one that I watched and I remember mostly was whenever Jeff Hardy won the Money in the Bank and Edge speared him off the ladder, and then Hardy would come back and fight his way to win, and that was whenever Jeff Hardy really became one of my favorites. But Brady,
Oh yeah, I vividly remember that too.
Brady, out of all the intro videos and all the intro music of WWE, which one do you think was your favorite?
Um, I like the Shields. You know, when they were a group, a little three-man group. I like how they came out of the crowd and got the crowd involved. You know, but if I had to pick one, it'd definitely probably be the Great Khali. You know, a big 7'2" man coming out to a song we don't really know. It's just, but it's really a vibey, catchy song, and I like how he just walked out, didn't say a word. He's 7'2", and he would just walk down to the ring and basically whoop anybody's tail. Because I mean, who's gonna mess with a giant that big?
Yeah, mine definitely has to be Triple H's intro. I mean, you hear it. We heard it at our high school baseball games. I mean, it's time to play the game. Like, just that as a kid, just like made us love WWE even more. But yeah, man,
Really fired you up.
the WWE times were times that we'll never forget. I mean, I don't really pay attention to it now, but it is what it is now. But next
I
topic
mean, every
today.
once in a while, Monday night,
Keep going.
it'll be a Monday night, and we got practice off on Mondays. So if it's a Monday night and I see WWE Raw, I might click on it every once in a while and tune in for a little bit and see what it's about. But I'm not really big into it anymore either.
It's just not extreme anymore. There's too many
Yeah,
guidelines and
salt,
too
world salt.
many. Yeah. But the next topic we have today is Yucatan and country boys.
Ooh.
And Yucatan is a Mexican restaurant in Sumter, and it's pretty much the home of the USC Sumter baseball team. I mean, if you ask me, it's a great Mexican restaurant. It's a cheap price. You get a lot of food that fills you up. And mostly every time we go, we have some to take home with us. And that's what's the best thing about it. I highly recommend everybody on my channel to go try Yucatan and Sumter. If you're ever around here in the area, that definitely is a recommendation. But Brady, what are your thoughts on Yucatan?
Last year I came in as a freshman, and I was like, I don't know any place around here. Like, where should I go eat? So my favorite food's Mexican. Well, I looked up Mexican restaurants near me and found Yucatan. It was 10 minutes away from our apartment, and so I went and I ate it for the first time, and I thought, well, dang, this is really good. Well, I started getting a habit because it was so cheap, and I'm in college, so I kind of had to find a little way to save some money. So I'd go to Yucatan, and it got to a point where I think I'd be going 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I'd walk in there. I mean, I walked in there tonight, and my server, he already had me ready a Mountain Dew and a cheese dip. He knew exactly what I was coming for. I think realistically, in the last 2 years, I am their most loyal customer. And I strongly believe that nobody's been in there more than me in the last 2 years.
Yeah, no question. Whenever we go there, it just seems like whenever we all go, you might as well just bring us a pitcher of Mountain Dew because it's not going to be
Man,
there whenever they bring the chips. Like it's
no,
not going to be there.
no chance that is there.
But Brady, what is your favorite thing to get at Yucatan?
Oh, that's a tough one. I normally stick with the same roughly area of food. I'm normally grilled chicken, steak, nachos, maybe. Sometimes I'll get a steak burrito. Sometimes, money's real tight, and I'll get a half order. But normally I'm getting a full order because I want to take some home, and it's more meals for later on in the night or later on the next day. Hopefully not a couple days because that wouldn't be good. But I definitely go with the ACP. I like the ACP. It's called the Arroyos con Pollos, and it comes with rice, grilled chicken, and queso. And I really do like that a lot.
All right. So fans, you heard Brady's opinion there on Yucatan. I highly recommend Yucatan to all of you. My favorite thing to get there is the grilled chicken tacos with cheesy rice on the side. And that's just a loyal go-to there from Yucatan. But the next place, this place is unheard of to a lot of people, but I know some people in this channel know the feeling and the greatness that comes out of Country Boys in Dalzell. Brady, give me your take on that.
I think what was it? About 4 years ago, we were working at Modern Turf. You know, it was really hot out there. We didn't know any places to eat in Dalzell. I mean, nobody really knows any place to eat in Dalzell, but
Might
maybe
as well
John
go to
Morant.
Sumter.
Yeah, he might as well eat about 15 minutes from it. And I took a right out of Modern Turf, and I kept driving straight, and I saw this little gas station called Country Boys. It said, we're open inside. So I walked in, and in the back there's a woman cooking, and I was like, well, you got to go up and order, or there was a little buffet. On Monday, was a buffet, and I'd sometimes get that. But I'd walk in, and I walked to the back, and there's a lady cooking, and man, she made some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life. I'd always get the bacon cheeseburger with fries and a Mountain Dew, and it'd fill me up during lunch, during work, and I'd go back to work happy as crap because of how good her food was.
Yeah, the Country Boys at Modern Turf is really what made everything better there. Like just going to Country Boys every day for lunch, and pretty much the menu there, you can literally get anything that you want, like any kind of American fast food, like restaurant, like buffet. You can even get breakfast all day. I'm pretty sure she'll make you breakfast all day. But
whatever you find in front of you.
Yeah, Country Boys, I don't know if people think it's worth the drive, but we all know that Country Boys is definitely worth the drive at the end of the day. But Brady, again, what's your favorites at Country Boys?
Oh, well, I'd definitely go with that bacon cheeseburger, man. It's something about bacon cheeseburger with some mayonnaise and some just maybe raw fries some days, regular fries, it doesn't really matter, but that bacon cheeseburger is different. And you know, that place is kind of like, you know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge that book by its cover, man. That place is really good. It's a little small gas station, and it's in the back. It might not be in the best location or look the best, but you just got to try it out. And I'm telling you, that thing, it's worth it.
Yeah, my favorite, this is what I got pretty much every time, were the hot chicken tenders.
Oh, yeah.
The buffalo chicken tenders with the French fries, and then 2 ranches, and then a roll. I mean, that was, and it was only like $6.50 with a drink.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like 4 chicken tenders and a whole basket of fries. You can't beat that for the price. But everybody listen, I highly recommend, if you're ever in the Dalzell area or just cruising through and pass by it, I highly recommend Country Boys to y'all, because that place never failed for us. So I don't see why it should fail for y'all.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next topic of the day are the top 5 snacks you need in your pantry, or like we have in our apartment. Brady, what are your top 5?
Well, you know, that's a really good question. And you know, I lost a little bit of weight since last year, but you know, back in my little hefty days, I'd definitely take me a nice little can of cheese balls. And cheese balls, you can't beat them. You can't beat them cheese balls, man. Those things used to be good, but you know, I try to cut back a little bit now. 2, I feel like we always have grapes at some point in our fridge.
Yes.
There's always grapes to eat, and I mean, never complaining because those things are really good, and I always like grapes. Always a good go-to, not bad for you snack. 3, I'm always able to cook a hot dog at some point throughout the day, and I feel like that's a really big plus because you know, Ken Murphy. I kind of live by this rule. You know, you said eat cheese dogs and hit dingers. You know, I do eat a lot of cheese dogs, and they're pretty good. 5, you know, you can go get some frozen food from the store. You know, I normally go get some frozen mozzarella cheese sticks, and you know, I can go to town on some cheese sticks. And you know, honestly, the last one probably wouldn't even be a food. I feel like chocolate milk is a necessity to have. You know, I feel like it goes with everything, and that's probably my favorite drink in the world is chocolate milk, which I drink a good bit, and I don't mind it, so it's normally always here.
All right, I got a pretty solid 5 here. These are maybe some favorites for you At 5, we got the Oreos.
Oh gosh,
The cold Oreos in the fridge.
You get double stuffed, or what you get?
The double stuff Oreos. You got to let them sit in the fridge for about an hour so they can get real nice and cold. Then number 4, like you said, I got the grapes.
Yeah.
And number 3, this isn't really a snack, but it's a snack for us. Maybe not the people watching. It's fried bologna. We go through more bologna here than probably anyone in the state.
Anybody. And I think, who was it? John Copley was the one that first taught us how to do that. Went back in like the beginning stages of high school. John Copley was like, "Hey, let's go downstairs at my house, or let's go. I'm gonna make us some food." And he just started frying up bologna. And ever since, I've been addicted to it.
Then number 2, this may not be one of your favorites, Brady, but you know how I feel about this. Cold Reese's.
Oh yeah, you love some Reese's. They're always in that fridge.
And then number 1 are the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
And something about them Pop-Tarts, man. I'm a big brown cinnamon sugar guy, but I'm also a big strawberry guy. So either one in the department is ever good with me. So.
All right, our next topic of the night is the NCAA tournament. And Brady, it's been a wild NCAA tournament. We've watched a lot of games together. Which game was your favorite to watch? Or like, what was your favorite upset, favorite moment, or anything?
I think that Michigan game the other night, UCLA topped Michigan the other night. I think that was a big game. You know, it was a low scoring game. They wasn't too high scoring contest. I thought that was a really good defensive game. And I really like that old school hard nosed defense. You know, I like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was a great game.
I'd have to say my favorite game of this tournament. It was an early game. It was one of the more earlier games, and this was a team that I really thought maybe had a chance, and it was the LSU Michigan game, and they were pretty much going punch for punch at each other, and LSU just ran out of gas, and then Michigan stole it at the end. But it was a solid game by two basketball clubs that were very high scoring. Like, they love to put up points, and LSU was a team that impressed me all year. I hate to see that they didn't make it real far, but Michigan lost last night. So in the Final Four, we have Baylor and Houston, and then Gonzaga and UCLA. And just for me watching all these teams and everything that's going on, in my opinion, I think the only team that can beat Gonzaga is Baylor. And I think they're the only team because they are very complete 1 through 5. They move the ball around and they play defense. And the style between Gonzaga and Baylor really matches up well. I don't know who's going to win these games. Obviously, nobody does yet. But I think Baylor is the only team that can quite possibly beat Gonzaga. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think Gonzaga has definitely been the most truest team this year, because like every other game you kind of know, like you never know who's going to win. You know, it's up for grabs. But with Gonzaga, I think, you know, they're for sure a really good team. Like night in, night out, they always come to play. And I really don't know if anybody's going to stop Jalen Suggs in Gonzaga. You know, I think they're going to win the national championship, and I think they'll win by 10, 15 points in that game.
Yeah, I totally agree here, but I would love to see UCLA give them a run for their money, because we haven't seen Gonzaga play a bad game yet, and I don't know if we'll see it. I'm not trying to predict it or anything, but I would just like to see a steady competition from UCLA right out of the gates to give.
I'd like to see Gonzaga get some more contested shots. For sure. I don't think they get contested enough. I think everything's too easy for them.
But yeah, Brady, I agree with you. I have the Zags winning, and I think a lot of people do because they really haven't messed up or had a bad game. They're consistent throughout, and consistency wins this championship. And
Exactly.
just from watching them, they clearly are the best team in the tournament.
Exactly.
But next, we're going to jump to SEC baseball. And this weekend, South Carolina swept Florida. Me and Brady both watched a little bit of that. And Brady, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, this weekend they needed a sweep. A series win is always good, but they needed a sweep after they had a rough last week. About 2 weeks ago, they had a rough 2 weekends with Texas and Vandy. They weren't looking too hot. Lost a midweek game
To Davidson.
Yep. They and then they lost to Vandy. And then I think on that third game, I think they found it, man. I think they found something because whatever they've been doing since then, they've been hot. Last night they won a good game, and Wes Clark, man, he's different. 14 home runs already. Brady Allen, that kid. Yeah, that Wes Clark, he's crazy, and that Brady Allen kid, he's insane too. He can swing it. He's a gamer. He not only can he swing, he makes plays in the center field. You saw 2 of them this weekend.
I think he's pretty good. He had 2 top 10s this weekend, in my opinion. I think Brady Allen should be put into the talks for like an all SEC guy because the way he plays, the grit, the toughness, the quickness, like it's like he's meant for the SEC, and no moment to him is unfazed. And as of late, he's hit some bombs.
That kid's a gamer, man. He's a tough out at the plate, and it's just hard. It's hard to get him out, and that makes baseball really hard, especially for pitchers. If you got a guy at the plate who's a tough out.
Yeah, and I think since the Vandy game, I want to say he either has 5 or 6 home runs, and there's not many guys in the country that put up stats like that with the way and how far he's hitting them. But other scores: Clemson sweeps Boston College. Arkansas sweeps Mississippi State, Vandy sweeps Mizzou, Ole Miss sweeps Alabama, and Tennessee sweeps LSU around the SEC. And then in the SEC teams in the top 25, Vandy's 1, Arkansas is 2, Ole Miss is 3, 14's South Carolina, and 15's Florida. So South Carolina moves from 25 to 14. They have Georgia on the road this weekend. I think this is a must win.
Yeah, they got to get 2.
Caught slipping here.
They got to go to Athens and get 2. I watched a little bit of Georgia. Georgia played Clemson last night, and they beat Clemson 2-0 in a good contest. There's the 2 runs that Georgia scored were actually leadoff walks, and our coach is really big on a leadoff walk is not, you can't have that because runs will score, and it came back to bite Clemson last night. I mean, they didn't score runs offensively, which you got to do to win still, but it's a 2-0 ball game, and but they're a really good team. They're really deep on the mound. They threw 8 guys last night against Clemson, and it was like you know how it is. Midweeks are kind of their bullpen days for the staff. Get the guys ready for this weekend, see some live competition. But I think Carolina has to go to Athens and win too, and hopefully, if they pull that off, they're gonna shock some people in this country. I promise.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if Will Sanders will be the everyday Sunday guy now, because he's really proved himself. I mean, he's left some pitches up, but there hadn't been many pitches that he hadn't missed early in his career.
That kid as a freshman to go out there and do what he does and put his numbers up, that's pretty impressive. Him, they got a good stat. That Thomas Farr kid, he was going toe for toe with it with Kumar Rocker, and he's supposed to be number 1, number 2 draft pick in the country here in a couple months, and Thomas Farr was right there head to head with him all throughout the game against Vandy, and against Florida, he threw a pretty good game, and I feel like he's a good threat to Georgia, and I don't know how they'll handle him and if they will be able to.
Yeah, this SEC season, college baseball season, should be fun. There's a lot of teams in the SEC that I think could quite well end up in Omaha, and I really think you don't have to be top of the line SEC. I feel like you could be right in the middle and still make it into Omaha. And that's just how deep the conference is. And that's how it is every year. But I'm anxious to see going forward what we have in store. But the next topic here today, and the final topic of the day here, is the JUCO route at USC Sumter or any other junior college in the country versus anything else. And Brady, just talk about that for a second. What led you to the JUCO route, and how's it going?
It's going. It's going. It's got its up, it's got its downs. The biggest reason I needed to come here was, I didn't really get on myself as I should in school. I didn't have as good grades I needed to, and I didn't have the body I needed to go play at a nicer high level school. And so the JUCO route, it's especially Sumter. We run a good bit. We lift in the mornings. We're always doing something. We go out to the practice field. We're there from I get there at 1:45. I don't leave till about 7:00. It's a grind, but it's a good grind, and it's definitely worth the grind.
What is the difference like in the mindset, in your opinion, from being a JUCO guy going to a D1 or out of a high school guy going to a D1? Could you answer that?
I think a big difference with the mindset is depending on where you go. Cause I know here, we're kind of trained different. We're Coach Mellon's a hard nosed dude. And, he really he tries to get in our mental aspect of it. And he really sees how strong you are. And I believe going into another college, me mentally, I'll be way mentally more tougher and physically more tougher because of how much 1-9 knows and how much he does for us to help us get to that next level. And I really think that edge of us having to make it out of a junior college and us not knowing we're going to a D1, like us having to get there and knowing what we worked for to get there, is a big edge compared to those high school guys.
What's the biggest thing you've learned in your time in Sumter?
Last fall, I struggled a little bit in school again. I wasn't taking it serious. I thought I could live like I was still in high school, which I found out wasn't the case. Sat down, talked to my mom, talked to our granddad. He had some really good talks. And I really figured out like time management and asking for help are probably the two biggest things in college. There's nothing wrong with asking for help if you're struggling for something. And time management, I'd go spend my time hanging out with a boy, trying to be cool, try to fit in, but instead of doing my homework, so I really buckled down and like figured out time management, and that I need to, if I got weights at 6, I'll get done at 7. I have from 7 to practice, do homework instead of from after practice till I go to sleep. And normally after practice, you know how it is. You're so exhausted from that 5 hours, 6 hours being out there that you just get home and you don't even want to open your computer or open your textbooks to do any schoolwork. So I really, granddad helped me out a lot, making sure I know I can always ask for help from people, and that I really need to stop trying to be the cool guy and stop trying to fit in and just be myself and get my stuff done. Because at the end of the day, education is way more important for you than baseball will ever be, because education will take you farther in life, because baseball doesn't last forever, Yeah,
100% there. I totally agree. Education is definitely what's most important, because you never know whenever the baseball game is going to be taken away from you. And Brady, what's been the best moment of your time there at Sumter? Like your best highlight, anything, like best time with your buddies? Like,
I got 2 of them, and they're actually both baseball related. Well, I'll give you 3, and one of them is baseball related. Walter State, everybody. Not everybody knows them, but like if you're a junior college player, everybody knows them. They're number 3 in the country, number 2 in the country, always up there.
They'd give
we had a tournament with them last year. Them and
top 25s a run for their money.
Oh my gosh, for sure. They're insane. I think that they came into our crib last year at Sumter. Them and Potomac State, who was a top 20 team also. And first game we opened up with Potomac State. and we just came out actually hitting. We didn't really hit well beginning of the season, so we started hitting a little bit. We beat the number 20 team in the country, 6-2. Then we had to play Washington State the next game, and they're number 3 in the country. We throw our ace out there. Really good game, 0-0 game going in the 6th. They go up 2. We answer back with 1. It's 2-1 in the 6th. 7th inning, we couldn't score. They won 2-1. Well, 1-9 has a talk with us. He wasn't mad. Next morning, we come out with a little fire in our butts, ready to go. We're locked in. They kind of know it. One of my good friends, Brendan Mullins, he went out on the mound against Walter State. I think he threw a 4-hit, 2-earned run performance against them, and we beat Walter State 6-2. And after the game, I've never seen Coach Medlin so happy in my life, and it was just a great day because if he's in a great mood and we're playing good,
everybody's in a great mood.
Everything's in a great mood, like everything. That's probably the first one. The second would be this year. Didn't know I didn't know how much time I was gonna have to play. The first weekend we open up, Jackson catches the first game. Jackson Price, one of my best friends, he catches first game. Coach Mellon says the only thing that's going to change is the catch you're in. Well, I got in the game. First inning, pop a little. It's not a routine. It's not hard to catch though. And I go over and make an error. I drop it. I'm like I just messed up. You know how it is. And then when I came up first at bat of the season, first pitch, and I hit it. I drove it. I knew I hit it good, and I hit my first home run in college, and it was a great experience running them bases, and I can just hear my mom up there cheering. On the video, you can hear that's about the only thing you can hear. You can't even hear the team. You just hear my mom and granddad and Marshall and Mimi, and it was just a sick experience. And then a third one for you, you'd be surprised. But when we wake up at 6 a.m. to go do trash club with all the guys, I think that's a really good experience for us. I really like doing that community service stuff with all our guys because it makes close together. We're bonding, we're doing something good for the community, like the bike repair. We did a triathlon one time. It's a great experience. The trash cleanup now, it might get a little dirty. I've seen some nasty stuff like possums. It's been nasty
stuff. You don't know what you're going to get out there.
No, there's no telling, but those are just good times to bond with the guys at 7 a.m. and you're picking up trash on the side of the road on a Saturday morning. And it's just, the only thing to do is talk to your boys and get to know them and hang out. And it's just a good experience.
Yeah. I think, me and Jordan Thurman, whenever we were, I think it was the second one we did, and we got the double trouble on it because I think we got in team punishment for something. I can't remember, but we found a mattress that was infested with termites, absolutely infested with termites. And there were nothing but stains all over it. And it was just disgusting. And like you said, you really don't know what you're going to get out there.
But I tell you what, that trash cleanup is definitely one of the reasons I will never litter again. Ever. I will never it will never cross my mind to throw something out of my car window because of how nasty I've seen the side of those roads picking up that trash. And it just makes you want to not do that to anybody else because of how bad it is. So I will never litter out of the side of my window or at all because of how bad I've had to clean up the trash on the side of the road.
Yeah, Brady, who y'all got this weekend, man?
Oh man, we got Floatar. They're a powerhouse, man. They're number 6 or 7 in the country, I believe, right now. But I think, we've had a rough last 2 weekends, but I think we're starting to figure it out a little bit more, coming together as a team. We really weren't playing as a team. We were more selfish. I'd go sit in the bullpen, which is a bad, sounds like a bad teammate. So I've really tried to step up and be, I've been playing. So I shouldn't let that get to my head. I should go be a better teammate, do what I can do to help our guys win. So I've kind of realized that and come to grasp with that, which is good. We need somebody in the dugout who can really get the team going. And you know me, I love talking. I'm not scared to talk. I'm not scared to yell. I'm not scared to cheer on my boys. And so I'm really going to make it a priority for me to stay in the dugout and be there for my guys every single at bat to make sure I can do whatever I can to beat these guys, because we really need these 4 wins this weekend against Flodor.
Heck yeah, man. Best of luck to y'all. I know along the road I'm going to come to the USC Lancaster series and watch that one because I have 2 buddies playing on that, and you're one of them. And but that's something I've been really looking forward to for a while. But best of luck to y'all this year, and thank you for your time today. And let's ride it out, boy.
Oh yeah, brother, man. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
It was a good
everyone.
experience, great time.
Brady White, USC Sumter catcher, and my lifelong best friend.
And up, baby, and up.